Okay, so I'm here with my lovely, amazing wife, Lindsey Miller, and we just happened to have this kind of routine conversation. It actually started because I've been doing push-ups, and last night I was telling Lindsey that I decided, hey, I was starting to kind of get a little yawny, and I decided to go do push-ups, and Lindsey just said that, yeah, and your son saw you do that and did them on the rug too. Now, my son is 6 years old, but we started talking about modeling. And she is in a counseling degree program to get her master's to become a licensed professional counselor. And this ties in with leadership. The amazing book, The Leadership Challenge, talks about the first principle of the 5 is model the way. Okay, Lindsey, so you're telling me just now about how modeling in your counseling program just this weekend. Could you talk about that for a second?
Yeah, so right now I'm learning about the psychosocial development through the lifespan. So how we develop from birth until death, essentially, right? And one of the ways that we grow the most is modeling behavior. So younger siblings even will be motivated and taught instinctually by older siblings and by our parents. So we're playing Uno last night. Corey got a little tired. He went and did some push-ups. Callaway kind of looked over there, saw what you were doing, and he started doing push-ups. And it's the same way in our mannerisms, how we carry ourselves, how we talk with our hands. We probably can say our parents do that too, or somebody that we saw when we were younger and pick that up from. So modeling behavior.
You were talking about the first time you met my father.
Yes.
But by the way, my dad and I did not grow up in the same house. My parents divorced at 3, so you meet my dad for the first time 9 years ago, by the way.
Yeah, I met David Miller for the first time 9 years ago, and Corey had already kind of told me about that. Didn't really grow up around my father a lot. We had a strained relationship for a while, and so you wouldn't expect there to be a lot of similarities. But as soon as I met his dad, I was like, oh, yeah, obviously. And it didn't make sense to me at the time. I was just like, okay, Corey, yeah, you guys hold yourselves the same. You move your hands the same. You hug the same. Like, there was a lot of that same stuff happening.
We side hug the same, by the way.
Yeah, you side hug exactly
We're
the same.
side huggers.
But when I took this class and learning about the psychosocial development, it makes absolute sense that you would have the same mannerisms as your father, because biologically, instinctually, you would model the behavior that you see. Even if you're only around that a little bit, you knew it was your dad, and you would do that.
Okay, here's the takeaway I had, and why I wanted to cue up the video real quick, is because modeling is so powerful. Not just in our family relationships, which Lindsey just shared, but also in our leadership. Think about this. You think back about the leaders you've had, managers you've had in your work experience, and probably the first ones were the most significant, made the biggest mark, just like, parents in a sense.
Absolutely.
So we've been talking recently about people that have been first-time managers and how maybe they're mimicking some managers, not the best.
Maybe
managers.
not the best, right?
Yeah.
Just doing what they know instead of what's the best way of going about it.
But the other takeaway for me is that model the way, that first principle in the book, amazing book, The Leadership Challenge, is so resonating, because how you work and behave are probably instinctually embedded in our DNA, how we're going to mimic for the most part, and have to consciously, if it's negative, not mimic those things. And that's such a powerful example, I think, what you shared from your recent class.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for letting me use my knowledge that I'm learning.
Okay, so the takeaway is you're being watched and you're being modeled by your people. And if you're parents like us, your kids. Thanks.